global perspective is all about how you view the world. So this year, my group of friends and I are going to see what religion and faith really is. So join us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I would like to ask you a few questions regarding your faith for our Global Perspective project. Firstly, describe your faith, sir.
I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. That's my faith.
How and where do you practice your faith?
Usually I pray. I practice my faith in school. I also practice at home and sometimes in church. There's a few places that I practice my faith.
How does it affect your daily life?
It's good to know that God is always around me. He's always beside me. So whenever I have trouble, I can always just go to Him through prayer.
Who or what influenced you to follow this faith?
I was born in a Christian family, so my parents were Christian, so I attended church ever since I was small, and I've been going to church ever since, so probably my parents influenced my faith. Yeah.
Before we end this conversation, I would like to ask a final question. How often do you pray?
Daily. Yeah, I usually pray daily.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your time, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I would like to ask you a series of questions
Yes, you may ask.
for our Global Perspective project.
Sure.
Okay, so describe your faith, sir.
I do believe in Hinduism, and if you ask me, Hinduism is a way of living life.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so how and where do you practice your faith?
I do pray at home, and I often go to temple.
How does praying affect your daily life?
Well, if you ask me, it gives positive vibration in my life, and it helps me to succeed in my life in terms of motivation, and then in terms of my psychology, and etc.
Yeah. So who or what influenced you to follow this faith?
I would say obviously my parents and the people surrounding me, and last but not least, obviously it's me. It's all about individual, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the last question before we end,
All right.
how often do you pray?
In the morning and in the night. Yeah, twice a day.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I would like to interview you about religion for
Yes.
our Global Perspective project. So I'll ask you a series of questions, and hope you answer them.
Sure thing.
So the first question is, describe your faith, sir.
My face.
Your faith.
My faith. Okay. First of all, my name is Tristan. I'm practicing the Catholic faith. Catholic faith is the largest Christian community in the whole world. And you want me to go into the details, like how do I practice my
Sure.
faith? Okay, so attending Mass every weekend is an obligation. Okay, when we use the word obligation, which means it's a compulsory thing to do, and it's sort of like attendance is being taken. Okay, but we don't literally do it in church, right? Because when we say that we are obliged to go to church, that means God is looking at whether you have that heart of going to church. But of course, at the same time, when you go to church, you don't go there just for the attendance. You have to prepare your heart as well to go to church. That's one. And also, my faith also practices the making of the sign of the cross, which is Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right? That is one very distinctive characteristics of the Catholic faith.
So do you pray?
Yes, I do pray.
How does it affect your daily life? Like, how does praying affect your daily life?
Okay, one thing I find that prayer is so important, especially when you start the day with a prayer. As soon as you open your eyes, the one thing that you should be doing is to pray and to give thanks to God that you are able to live for another day, and to thank God for waking you up that morning as well.
Yes.
So prayer is sort of like it's like a thanksgiving to God, especially in the morning. And of course, if you can, do your best to do prayer every single time of the day. as well.
So how often do you pray then?
How often do I pray? I always make it a point whereby I do a fixed sort of prayer. Like I have a morning prayer, I have the midday prayer, I have the evening prayer, and I have the night prayer as
So
well.
the timetable.
It's like a timetable, but it's sort of like a reminder that a prayer is a need for me in my life.
Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we end this conversation, I want to ask the final question.
Yes.
Who or what influenced you to follow this faith?
Okay, I joined this faith of mine, this Catholic faith of mine, when I was in Form 3. Honestly speaking, I was influenced by my friends, right? So at that time, I felt like there was something missing in my life. I did join a lot of Christian community groups, but I was not able to look for the meaning behind those community groups. Then I was led to church by my friends, and then from then on, I was able to learn a lot of things about Catholic faith, and I was baptized as well in Form 3. Yep.
So thank you for your time.
So basically, these are the few religions that we have in Malaysia. So thanks for watching and see you next time.